Good morning and welcome to the Winter Classic, USA Softball's Winter Classic here in Fort Myers, Florida. I'm Jim Flanagan with Luciano Lofrano, our streamer with Softball Premier TV, bringing you this game live. Hope you had a chance to take in some of the ball games yesterday. We'll be on the air again today and tomorrow through the end of this tournament. This game features the New York Gremlins. They are currently 2-0, winning both of their games yesterday. 7-0 over AWP Lumberjacks and a 12-0 win over Loyalty. This is game 3 for them. They're taking on the Toronto Batmen, who are the home team on the field right now. And first pitch is in for a called strike, and we are underway. The pitcher for the Toronto Batmen, Dustin Wienhoff, and behind the plate, Mitch Pringle, his battery mate. At the plate right now is Lucio Retamar, the newcomer from Argentina. He'll be leading things off for the Gremlins. He'll be followed by Jerome Remaki in the 2 spot. He is the EH, the extra hitter in this one. Cole Evans batting third, playing it short. Eric Ochoa, the first baseman, will bat fourth. Blake Hunter, fifth, is the DP. Brian Avery, the left fielder, is sixth. Nick Mullins, 7th, doing the catching. 8th will be Tane Mumu, getting another start at second base. And Gonzalo Mazmu will be at third base. As we said, the regular Jerome Remaki is the EH, and Ian Sagdal to follow that. So that's the batting order for the Gremlins, just underway in this 10 o'clock game. Swing and a miss on that one. Good drop ball from Wienhoff. So Retamar retired, I think, for the first time in the tournament. Started out yesterday in his first game as a Gremlin, going 3 for 3. Had another good game in game 2. But he is retired on the swinging strikeout. That'll bring up Jerome Remeke. Remeke had a usual Jerome Remeke type day yesterday. Started out in that first game 3 for 3. Drove in 2, scored 2. One of those hits, 2-run double in second inning of that one, sort of broke things open for the Gremlins. And then finished up the nightcap 2 for 3. Little ground ball foul up along the left side. Defensively for Toronto in the outfield, left to right, it's Jordan Bomber in left, Corey Way in center, and Travis Jones over in right. In the infield around the corner, Johnny Baker at third, Dallas Kipfer at short, Liam LaForest at second, and Adam Long over at first base. The battery, as we mentioned, Dustin Wienhoff in the circle pitching, and Mitch Pringle behind the dish doing the catching. Cody Skelton will be the DP for the Batmen in this one. Rise ball up and away from Remeke. The Batmen with a pretty good season last year. They were a perennial top 10 team through the rankings in the ISC World Tournament. They wound up finishing in a tie for 7th last year. Their best ISC World Tournament finish back in 2017 when they finished 4th. So they can play with the big boys. Ty Sebastian, a notable missing in action player for them this weekend. They'd certainly like to have him, one of the stars of this Toronto Batman team. Most of the players hail from the Toronto area. Drop ball low, and Remeke relays off it. He'll take the walk and bring Cole Evans to the plate. Cole Evans, of course, now the veteran, we can say that, veteran shortstop for the New Zealand national team. He has been at that position since he was 16, played in the first World Cup in 2015 in Saskatoon, breaking in at the tender age of 16. Cole was the MVP, most valuable player in last year's ISC World Tournament in Denmark, Wisconsin. Had a big tournament, and one of the big reasons the Gremlins came away the winners. They had to win 3 games on the final day of that tournament to win it, but win it they did, and Cole Evans, a big part of that. Little lazy curveball downstairs for a ball. Lots of power in this batting order, top to bottom. We talked about it yesterday. The 6, 7, and 8 hitters in the lineup yesterday coming away with home runs. So no easy outs. Little curveball is off the plate again. It's the dilemma most pitchers face. You try and keep the ball away from these hitters, the dangerous power hitters in particular. But if you get too fine, too careful, you wind up giving away walks, and then instead of a solo home run, it's a 2 or 3 run shot. So you have to find the right part of that line. Swing and a miss, good rise ball. Best pitch we've seen from Veenhoff. That one had good elevation. Top part of the order yesterday for the Gremlins, responsible for the majority of the offense. Leadoff hitter Retamar had 3 hits in the first game. By the end of the day, I think, or into that game, 8 of the 12 hits in that first game came from the first 3 batters, that being Retamar, Remeke, and Cole Evans. They also were responsible for driving in 4 of the 7 runs and scored 4 of the 7 runs. So you get that kind of production out of your 1, 2, and 3. You're going to beat a lot of teams. Good drop ball, a little grounder down to third, bobbled it, does Baker. Not especially hard hit ball, but looked like it might have taken a little turn right before it got to Baker. So Cole Evans aboard on the error. Moving over to second base is Remeke, and that'll bring up Eric Ochoa, the first baseman for the Gremlins. So 2 aboard, 1 out. Just underway in the first inning of this one. Ochoa 0 for 3 in the first game yesterday and turned that around and went 3 for 3 in the second game. It is January after all, so it takes most all of the players, all the hitters, all the pitchers a little while to find themselves in that midseason form. Lots of snowbirds down here in Fort Myers enjoying the cold temperatures, including our good friend Luciano Lofrano, now a resident of Toronto. That one's a pop-up in the infield, lifted high. It'll be the shortstop Kiffer going over behind the bag at second to make the catch. Out number 2 recorded. Great weather here in Fort Myers. High temperatures yesterday and today, somewhere around the 80-degree Fahrenheit. We'll let you Celsius folks do the conversion, but a nice warm day, much more pleasant than it will be come July and August here when it'll get humid and hot. Blake Hunter is at the plate. He's the DP. Hunter, a big day yesterday, had a home run in each of the two games. Hit a solo shot in the fourth inning of that first game, then came back and hit one in the third inning of the second game. That one's a one-hopper back to Wienhoff. Wienhoff will walk it halfway and then toss it over for the final out. So side retired, no runs for the Gremlins, no hits, 2 men left. The walk and the error don't account for anything. We'll head to the home half of the first inning and get our first look at the Batmen. We'll be back right after this. Don't go away. Home half of the first inning here in this 10 a.m. local time start. Toronto Batmen getting their first look at the New York Gremlins and their new young pitcher from the Czech Republic, Kuba Osička. Kuba coming over from the AWP Lumberjacks where he pitched last year. Got a couple innings in yesterday, a couple of shutout innings. 3 strikeouts in the process. Look very sharp, especially considering it is January. The batting order for the Toronto Batmen, Travis Jones will lead off. He's the right fielder. Corey Way, the center fielder, will bat second. Cody Skelton, the DP, will hit third. Liam LaForest, second baseman, will bat cleanup. Mitch Pringle, the catcher, in the 5 spot. Johnny Baker, the third baseman, in the 6th spot. Adam Long in the 7th spot playing first. Dallas Kipfer, the shortstop, in the 8th spot. And Jordan Bomber in the 9 spot. Defensively for the Gremlins, familiar look, a couple of changes from the starting lineups of yesterday. In the outfield, Brian Avery once again in left, Lucio Retamar from Argentina in center. So again, the outfield, Avery in left, Retamar in center, and it's Ian Sagdahl, a fine young player from Washington State. Hit a walk-off grand slam in Game 2 yesterday. Is playing in right field, so pretty good speed all the way around in that outfield for the Gremlins. There's a little flare. It's going to be just foul down the left side. In the infield, Gonzalo Mazmu will be at third base. Jerome Remeke, as we said, is the EH in this one, so getting a chance to rest that knee. Cole Evans, of course, at shortstop. Tane Mumu, the young second baseman from New Zealand, over at second base, and Eric Ochoa holding down the fort at first base. Nick Mullins of Team USA, longtime member of the New York Gremlins, doing the catching. And as we said, young Kuba Osička from the Czech Republic. There's a beautiful changeup, and that one just floats in for strike 3. Jones thought he had himself a walk, but across the plate, watch the replay, you'll see it float. A beauty. Didn't show it. Nothing you can do but take it for called strike. So Jones is down. One out in the books. Corey Way will be the batter. He steps in from the right side. Our drop ball taken downstairs for a ball. Kuba has the full contingent, up, down, and a real good changeup. He's also got one that we were calling a frisbee yesterday, sort of a sideways breaking rise ball. Starts on a right hander. It'll start on the outside part of the plate and wind up over in the other batter's box. So a good complement to his other pitches. Looks like a rise coming in and then just takes off sideways. Swing and a miss on a good straight drop ball over the top rotation on that one. We call it a frisbee. In baseball, I think the term they've adopted is sweeper. I guess in the old days it might have been a slider, but definitely a moving target. There's a high hopper. Masmu will come in and make the play. Nice defensive play by Tani. 4-3 on the putout. Playoff round begins today at 3 p.m., so these are the final sets of games in pool play. There's another 10 o'clock a.m. game going on the other diamond, that one featuring the so far undefeated 2-0 Hill United Chiefs taking on the Tigers from Miami. Another set of games to follow, and then 3 p.m. will be the playoff. We'll take a look at seeding and give you the matchups in those. Downstairs taken for a ball. Both of the pitchers for AWP have moved to new clubs. Kuba, of course, with the Gremlins here, and Marco Diaz, now a member of the aforementioned Hill United Chiefs. Marco with a good outing yesterday, striking out 11 along the way. The Gremlins' young ace, Jack Besgrove. 10 strikeouts in his outing, just 4 innings in that one, but notched 10 strikeouts to pick up a one-hit shutout win in his first start of the 2024 season. Swing and a miss on that one out in front. Swing and a miss by Cody Skelton behind that one. A little extra zippity-doo-dah on that pitch from Kuba. So 3 up and down for the Batmen. No runs, no hits, no one left. We played an inning. There is no score. The New York Gremlins coming to bat in the second. We'll be right back. Second inning for the Gremlins. It'll be 6, 7, and 8 in the batting order. That means Brian Avery, Nick Mullins, and Tane Mumu. Gonzalo Mazmu would follow if we get that far. Little curve ball on the outside part of the play, just downstairs. Brian Avery among those Gremlins with home runs yesterday. As we mentioned, the 6, 7, 8 spots in the batting order for the Gremlins producing home runs. Blake Hunter had a pair. Avery had one. Nick Mullins had one in that first game. Drop ball stays downstairs for Wienhoff. Wienhoff actually pitched against these Gremlins in their game last year at the ISC World Tournament. Pitched 4 innings, held them to just 1 run over those 4 innings. A pretty impressive performance. Not too many pitchers could say that during the 2023 season against the Gremlins. A little too careful with the last one. That one's downstairs, so Avery will take a walk. That's the second free pass given up by Wienhoff, but thus far no runs. Nick Mullins, the catcher, will stand in. That one gets away from the catcher Pringle down to second base. Uncontested will go Brian Avery, so another runner in scoring position for the Gremlins. Mullins, a patient hitter, worked a walk in the last game yesterday, but had a real good offensive game and 2 for 3 on the day in that one. 2 hits, double, and the home run that we talked about. The home run was to straightaway center. Ball was still breaking as it came up and into the wheelhouse of Mullins, and he just drove it out of the ballpark. That one's in for a called strike on the outside edge. Baker and Long, the corners for the Batmen, just about even with the bag. Long a couple of steps off the line, and Baker maybe a step over there at third. Everybody else straight away. Little spinning curveball, just missing downstairs. So Wienhoff very good at nibbling around the edges, trying to keep it out of the wheelhouse. Seems to favor that pitch away and downstairs. Little ground ball to short, a little spin move over there by shortstop Dallas Kipfer. Looked to see if he might catch Avery off the bag. Didn't. A little spin move and the throw across the diamond on the 6-3 putout. Nice defensive play by Dallas Kipfer. Our umpiring crew today, it's Greg Pohl behind the plate, Dave Selden over at third, and Jason Smith at first base. So a crew of 3. Veterans all. There's a good curve rise. That one coming up a little bit. A little higher in the zone. Good pitch, good location, unless somebody catches up with it. Tane Mumu is the batter. Line to second base, right at Liam LaForest. He flips or tries to flip across the way to Kipfer to catch Avery off. They don't catch him, but Kipfer hangs onto it. So nice play by Liam LaForest on the line out. 2 outs in the inning. Avery still at second. And to the 9 spot we go, Gonzalo Mazmu. Curve, just missing off the plate with that one. Gonzalo and Tane Mumu, the last batter, both getting a bit more playing time this weekend. Masmu's playing some third base, and Tane playing a bit more at second base in the absence of Ladislao Malarzuk, who's still in Argentina. That one down the right field line, giving chase is LaForest. Runs it down in foul territory. So the pop-up out. And Dustin Wienhoff, another scoreless inning. So add those two to the 4 he threw in the World Tournament. He's having himself a pretty good couple of outings. We'll head to the home half of the second. Be back with more action in the Toronto Batmen right after this. Home half of the second inning, the Toronto Batmen will send up their 4, 5, and 6 hitters. That's LaForest, Pringle, and Baker. Swing and a miss on the first pitch, a rise ball to LaForest. How many times does someone make the defensive plays and then come right around to be the leadoff hitter? That is Liam LaForest. Made the last 2 putouts for his team. High, shallow fly ball. Ian Sagdahl takes maybe a step or 2 and makes the catch for out number 1. Here's catcher Mitch Pringle stepping in to get his first look at Kuba Osichka. Swing and a miss on the drop ball, a good one. Bottom falls out of that one. Kuba from the Czech Republic, who has been on the upper end of the teams playing in the World Cup for better part of almost 10 years now. Really had their breakout year in 2015 in Saskatoon, and then have just gotten better and better. We've seen the likes of fine young pitching, obviously Kuba among them, one of the younger pitchers, and a bit more experience is Michael Holobratic, who is now one of the mainstays for the Hill United Chiefs, as the pipeline of talent continues to come stateside and play in the club circuit. That one's lifted straight up and foul. We had a good look at not only the players in the Czech Republic, but their country when Prague hosted the World Cup in 2019. We were there to broadcast for the WBSC. Down on strikes goes Pringle, takes one, a backwards K, so 3 in the game thus far for young Kuba. Had 3 yesterday in his 2 innings of outing. Here's Johnny Baker, the second baseman for the Toronto Batmen. Change up and a beauty. That one floats right in. If you could see it coming or pick it up, might be an easier prospect to hit that one, but he doesn't show it. You back off the plate, and it just winds up floating in. There's a swing and a miss on that one. So quickly ahead against Baker is Kuba Osichka. Rise ball, a little flare down the line. That one might be trouble. Falls in for a base hit. Not especially hard hit ball, but fell in no man's land. So Johnny Baker, the owner of the first hit off Osichka. A little flare single to right field. So he's aboard with 2 outs. And Adam Long will be the batter. Long steps in from the left side with that wide open stance. You see that right foot way off the plate, opened up. A little hopper down to Mosmu. He'll have to hurry. Comes up just in time to get Long down at first base. Not a hard hit ball, but he had to get to it in a hurry. 5-3 on your scorecard if you're keeping one at home. For the Batmen, they score no runs, 1 hit, 1 man left. We've played 2 complete. There is no score. We'll be back with more from the USA Softball Winter Classic in Fort Myers. Top half of the third inning, it'll be Ian Sagdal to start things off down at the 10 spot in the batting order. Back up to the top will go after that Lucio Retamar and Jerome Remeke. Sagdal with a blast yesterday to end Game 2. It was a grand slam home run. Took the score from 8-0 to 12-0. Just a towering fly ball home run to straightaway center. Lots of experience for this ball player, Sagdal, only 31 years of age, but spent, as we mentioned yesterday, 7 years in the minor league system for the Washington Nationals. Swing and a miss late on that rise ball from Dustin Veenhoff. Little foul tip off the left side. Ian played some fast pitch earlier up in the Washington State area. His older brother, of course, Pat Sagdal, a former member of the USA men's national team. But then off to minor league baseball in his professional career for 7 years. So just now coming back onto the fast pitch circuit. Hard grounder to short, flips over to first, and they've got him retired. 1 out in the inning. Very good speed down the line has Ian, but nice defensive play by Kipfer. And that'll take us back to the top of the order with Lucio Retamar. Some of these uniforms here in January not owned by the people wearing them, so don't be fooled by some of the name tags on the back of the shirts. Retamar is a newcomer to these Gremlins. First season, first weekend of play for him. Started out with a bang, going 3 for 3 in his first game. Settling right in. A few regulars for the Gremlins missing. Of course, Benny Noka, one of the obvious ones. So Retamar holding down the forward and center field where Benny would usually be playing. Lots of busy maternity wards for Gremlin wives around the world. Babies either just arrived or on their way. We'll talk about that in a few minutes. Benny Noka, a member of that club. Foul ball down the left field line, chased down by Bomber. Foul. So lots of future Gremlins perhaps coming into the world and onto the stage. Andrew Kirkpatrick, we mentioned. We say hello to Andrew, who has retired, had been the longest standing member of this New York Gremlins team and had just a stellar career both in the ISC World level and also the national level for Team Australia. Swing and a miss. Retmar is late, so he's down on strikes twice now. So another good inning thus far by Veenhoff. We mentioned most of the players for the Batmen coming from the Ontario province. Veenhoff hails from the Chepstow, Chepstow area of Ontario, which is not too far from Owen Sound, where another pretty fair pitcher made his mark in the fast pitch world, that being Brad Underwood, of course, the Hall of Famer Brad Underwood. You have to think a left-hander like Dustin Veenhoff growing up looks to someone like Underwood and says, I want to be like that. I want to do what he's doing. Here's Jerome Remeke. Line to down the right field line. That one's going to be fair. Jerome rounds first. He'll head on down to second base, and he's in with a stand-up double. Long was right on the line, but the ball was by him quickly. And Jerome didn't waste any time, just kept right on going to second base, as you see there on the replay. So Remeke with his first hit in this one. Had a bucket full of them yesterday, so he's been aboard both times. He had walked back in the first but didn't score. So once again with a runner in scoring position for the Gremlins, it'll be up to Cole Evans. Off the plate outside and down. Evans, the right-hander, hit the other foul line in his last trip or his first trip to the plate. Reached on the error. That one was right down the left field line at third baseman Johnny Baker, who is once again guarding the line, maybe a step off the foul line. Little curveball. That one's in for a called strike. Nice location. Started on the outside of the plate, then broke across to the right-hander Cole Evans. Veenhoff working very effectively thus far against the Gremlins. Not overpowering anyone, but that might be a better formula against these hard-hitting Gremlins. There's a little flare into right center field. Going back is Corey Way. He won't get to it. Coming around to score is Remeke. And Evans with an RBI double just out of the reach of center fielder Corey Way. Let's watch the replay on that one. You can see Way going over, just couldn't get to it. The ball carrying. And Evans with a two-run double. So double-double turns into a run for the Gremlins. It'll be Eric Ochoa at the plate now with 2 outs and Evans at second base. We talked about Veenhoff nibbling around the edges, trying to keep the ball away and down against these Gremlin hitters. Maybe a little bit too much of the plate on that one. Cole Evans taking advantage of it. Here's Ochoa. Little foul ball lifted down the line, just out of the reach of left fielder Jordan Bomber. Little grounder foul, this one on the right side, so goes the other way, and this one out in front of it. So he's behind with 2 strikes. Eric 0 for 1 in this game, popped up to short his first time up. 3 for 3 in yesterday's second game against the Loyalty team, the squad of Venezuela players. Swing and a miss on a good rise ball from Veenhoff. Don't get Ochoa too many times on strikes, but Veenhoff with a good location on that one, up and out of the zone. But not before the Gremlins get a run on 2 hits, the 2 doubles. First Remekes, then Cole Evans with the RBI double. So they're on top as the Batmen come to bat in the third inning. Gremlins 1-0. Eight, 9-1 for the Batmen here in the third inning. It'll be Dallas Kipfer followed by Jordan Bomber, and then back to the top of the order to Travis Jones. There's that spinning frisbee, swing and a miss. A little extra body English on that by Cuba. Coming off the pitching plate to his left, sort of guiding it, urging it across and away from the right-handed batter. There's the conventional rise. That one stays upstairs too high. They both start out looking like rise balls initially, but very different pitches, those two. There's the drop ball, a beauty. High hopper, though. They have to hurry. Masmu just in time over to Ochoa. That one was sort of a high spinning ground ball way upstairs. Masmu waits and comes up throwing on the 4-3 putout. So to the 9 spot we are, Jordan Bomber. Bomber, the left fielder for these Toronto Batmen. Lace down to Ochoa at first. Hard one hopper. He'll step on the bag and take a 3 unassisted for the second out. So 2 quick outs for Cuba here in the third. Back to the top of the shop we go to Travis Jones, the right fielder for the Batmen. Jones, a strikeout victim his first time up, but first pitch swinging. He is on that one. Lines a single out to Sagdal in right field over the head of first baseman Eric Ochoa. So not going to go down looking in that at bat. Takes a real good hack and has himself aboard with 2 outs. Sometimes if you're looking for a strike in that first pitch, as was Jones, good results will follow. Here's Corey Way. Corey, a ground out to second in his first trip to the plate against Osichka. Cuba shaking off a couple of signs, says, nope, not that one, nope, not that one. All right, now has it. Good hard rise ball right across the letters, in for a called strike. Our umpiring crew, we mentioned Greg Pohl behind the plate. Dave Selden at third. Jason Smith at first. Selden, of course, moving over to the second base bag with a runner at first. Meanwhile, swing and a miss on the third one from Corey Way. He's down on strikes. And Cuba gets out of a little bit of trouble there. For the Batmen in the third, no runs, 1 hit, 1 man left. We played 3 complete. Gremlins on top by a 1-0 score. Gremlins on top by a 1-0 score. That run coming around on a couple of doubles, Remeke and Evans with the RBI. Only run thus far as Dustin Wienhoff continues to nibble around the edges, pitching very effectively against a solid, strong hitting Gremlin club. 5, 6, 7 in this inning as we head to the top of the fourth. It's Blake Hunter, Brian Avery, and Nick Mullins. Hunter and Avery, of course, the British Columbian duo for the Gremlins. Blake did some catching yesterday. Avery will play outfield, also will DP. Both of them very key members of this Gremlin squad, even when they're not on the field defensively. Two of the big bats. Meanwhile, down on the right field line, we see a couple of pitchers getting up to do a little throwing. Looks like Tyler Randerson among them. Actually, he is just guarding the other pitcher warming up. Swing and a miss by Hunter. He's down on strikes. And it'll be Brian Avery coming to the plate. Brian walked in his first trip to the plate against Wienhoff, got as far as second base, but unable to score, unable Gremlins to cash in. Swing and a miss, good drop ball. Good rise ball again. Avery fouls that one straight back to the screen. Just missed that one. Four strikeouts thus far for Wienhoff. Nibbling around the edges, just off the plate with that one. Pretty good movement. Same location. Avery goes down and gets that one, pops it into right field. He's going to keep on going right on to second base. Just went the other way with it, hit the ball, a little flare single down the line, and he winds up at second base. There you see it. Didn't really even extend his arms, just made the contact. And once again at second base for the Gremlins, this time with one out. The pitch was not a strike. Actually, it was that same location downstairs and away. But Avery decides I can do something with that one, and aboard he is. Here's Nick Mullins. Over the top drop on that one, stays upstairs. A little extra velocity on that one. As we said, Wienhoff not throwing especially hard, but he'll mix in a good hard one like that just to keep things interesting for those hitters. Downstairs for a ball. Mullins 0 for 1 in this game, a ground out to short in his first trip against Wienhoff. This is the second time through for the New York Gremlin batting order. Same location downstairs off the plate for a ball. Wienhoff with a look on his face as he delivered that one, as if to say, that one's not where I wanted it. High hard when that one stays upstairs, and Mullins is aboard with a walk. Third free pass given up by Wienhoff, so he is aboard. But with first base having been open, doesn't really hurt you unless somebody hits the big long ball. Mullins is going to come back for a runner, I believe. It looks to be Blake Hunter. Tane Mumu is the batter. In my book, I just have one out, so I'm not sure if they've stretched that two-out catcher rule to just get the catchers back in the dugout whenever it may be, but Hunter was the last out, so that appears to be the case. Maybe a little more relaxed application of that rule here in January. Don't want anybody suffering injuries or running when they shouldn't be. Downstairs for a ball. Mumu lined out to second baseman Liam LaForest in his first trip to the plate. Tani, as we said, getting some more playing time for the Gremlins at second base this weekend. Working with his counterpart at short, Cole Evans, the dynamic duo from New Zealand. Add to that, of course, the veteran Jerome Remicke over at third, and you've got a trio of New Zealanders, although Remicke not playing third in this one is Gonzalo Masmu getting the start. Good contact hitter is Tane. Good speed. Hits that one off the screen for a foul. Mumu and Gonzalo Masmu were the two youngsters, newcomers last year to the Gremlins. Didn't get a lot of at-bats, but made the most of them when they did. Both of those hitters winding up somewhere around the 400 mark for a batting average. Swinging a grounder out to short. He'll go to second for the out. Moving over to third is Abry. Good defensive play by the Batmen. So Abry at third. Hunter, the runner for Mullins, retired at second base now with two outs. And Mumu with good speed over at first on the fielder's choice. And here is the aforementioned Gonzalo Masmu, who hails from Argentina. Off on the pitch is Tane Mumu. He's in safely. No chance to get the speedy youngster. So skipper Greg Leather over in the third base box turns his young runner loose, and he is now in scoring position. Just off the plate downstairs. Pretty good velocity in that pitch from Wienhoff. That was one of the harder pitches he's thrown. Trying to get himself out of trouble here in the fourth. Just one run thus far given up by Wienhoff. That one stays upstairs, way high. Wienhoff, as we mentioned last year, facing the Gremlins in the World Tournament, pitched 4 innings and gave up just the one run. So back-to-back impressive outings from the left-hander. Downstairs for a ball. It's been lefty and lefty and lefty against the Gremlins thus far here in Fort Myers. Yesterday ran into Cisco Sabate of the AWP Lumberjacks, who was followed in relief by lefty Valdi Turkelson. Just inside, and Masmu works the walk. So again, in first base having been open, Masmu goes down to fill it. He's at first. Tane Mumu at second base, and will be down to the final spot in the batting order to Ian Sagdal. Sagdal erased on a 6-3 ground out to short in his first trip to the plate. Very good speed, very good power. We saw that in the Grand Slam yesterday. Little bit off of that one, taken for a ball. In for a call, strike on the rise, ball away from the lefty Sagdal. Sagdal wasn't just a professional ball player, but he was a very good one. Came away with a batting title in the Carolina League at one point. Several-time All-Star. Swing and a miss on that one, a good drop from Veenhoff. The key for Ian, of course, will be just getting at-bats as he makes the adjustment from baseball to fast pitch, with balls coming from different angles, moving differently than they did at baseball. But when you see a talent like Sagdal, you know it's just a matter of time before he does that. Swing and a miss on that one late. He's down on strikes, and Veenhoff pitches out of trouble for the Gremlins in the fourth. No runs, one hit, and a couple of men left. We have played 3.5. It's still Gremlins 1-0 in this one. Home half of the fourth inning here for Toronto. It'll be the heart of their order, 3-4-5. That means Cody Skelton, Liam LaForest, and Mitch Pringle. Third baseman Johnny Baker would follow if one of those gentlemen can reach. Kuba Osicka still in the circle for the Gremlins. He was the starter. Both starters still in the game. Dustin Veenhoff for the Toronto Batmen, throwing a pretty fair ball game against the Gremlins, holding up to just one run thus far. Lots of runs scored in yesterday's games. The Gremlins 7-0 winner and 12-0 winners, but a bit of a dry spell here against Veenhoff. Here's Cody Skelton. He was a strikeout victim his first time to the plate, swinging strikeout, and that one's in for a called strike. Way upstairs with a rise ball. Mullins having to stand up completely to catch that one. Sometimes you try and put a little bit too much on it. Couple of great pitchers for the Gremlins, these two youngsters, Jack Besgrove from Australia and now Kuba Osicka from the Czech Republic. Following the lead of the retiring Andrew Kirkpatrick, of course, the longtime Australian pitcher. Missing inside. Skelton lays off. 2 hits off Kuba in the game. A single by Johnny Baker in the second. A single by Travis Jones in the third. Nothing to show for it, though. No runner has gotten as far as second base. The count runs full now to Cody Skelton. Swing and a miss on a good drop ball. Skelton down on strikes for the second time. Five strikeouts thus far for Kuba. He had 3 yesterday in just 2 innings of relief. Here's Liam LaForest. Ball downstairs. LaForest a fly out to Sagdal in right field, his first trip to the plate. Swinging a foul tip miss. Takes a little piece of Nick Mullins. Our home plate umpire Greg Pohl comes around and makes sure he's okay. Those two try and protect each other in this game. Mullins no stranger to the bumps and bruises, of course. He's been at it a while. Hard over the top drop, stays upstairs. Little extra zip on that pitch. Tries the changeup, and it's way outside. Looked like he might have hurried that pitch a bit. Didn't quite have the grip. He's thrown a couple beauties earlier in the game. That one not so much. Swing and a miss right on by him on that pitch. So the count full now on Liam LaForest. Maybe come back with that same pitch. Had thrown that ball just by. Hard drop, pretty close to the same pitch, but some good contact there by LaForest. Seems to be willing to go the other way with it. His other out was to right field. Swing and a miss. There it is, the same pitch again, right on by him. Mullins setting up just outside a bit. Keeping that ball down is Kuba. Their strikeout number 6, 2 out in the inning. That's Kuba spelled with a K, coincidentally, as he strikes out his second batter in the inning. Here's Mitch Pringle, the catcher. Kuba, the pitcher, not the country. K-U-B-A is the spelling on his name. Ground out to shortstop, 6-3 on an easy play for Cole Evans. 3 up and down, good inning, quick inning for Kuba Osichka. For the Batmen, no runs, no hits, and no one left. We head to the top half of the 5th inning. Still 1-0 Gremlins as they hang on to a slim lead. We'll be back with more. Top half of the fifth inning for the Gremlins, and we have a pitching change for the Toronto Batmen. It'll be Kurt Santella coming on, the right-hander. Kurt Santella, as Dustin Wienhoff gives way. Dustin Wienhoff with a very good outing. Just one run against this powerful lineup of the New York Gremlins through his 4 innings. So I think it's the theory, third time through or close to it. Sometimes managers like to make a move, figure it's only a matter of time before they start catching up with the speed and the pitches of the starter. That is the case here as we see Kurt Santella coming in for the Batmen. Number 25 on your scorecard if you're keeping one with us at home. So to the top of the order we go. It's Lucio Retamar. As we said, this is the third time through, so that seemed to be the reason for the pitching change. Top of the order, it'll be Remeke to follow and Cole Evans. Eric Ochoa if we get that far. Ball off the plate inside. Retamar, a pair of strikeouts, both of those to the left-hander Wienhoff, so I'm sure he will welcome a new pitcher here in the form of Kurt Santella. Just inside. Retamar not afraid to get right up to the plate. Crowds it a little bit. Ball stays upstairs high. Retamar, good contact hitter, good speed. 3 for 3 to start off the season yesterday in Game 1 against the Lumberjacks. Swing and a miss late on that one on the inside pitch. So Santella looking like he's trying to exploit the fact that Retamar is so close to the plate. Ground ball, foul. Lefties like Retamar like to get the wheels in motion. He was off to the races towards first on that one, just trying to put the ball in play. Retamar hails from Argentina. Another one foul, same pitch, same result, just off the plate foul. Retamar getting a word or two of encouragement from Remeke, who's on deck. Remeke has reached twice today. The walk and the double came home to score the lone run. He'll be next. Changeup stays upstairs, and Retamar works the walk. So a patient battling Lucio Retamar is aboard with a walk to lead it off. And at the plate will be the aforementioned Jerome Remeke. Remeke at the top of almost every offensive category last year for these Gremlins. Double-digit home runs, leading among the leaders in the RBI category. Batting average, on-base percentage, slugging percentage, you name it. Has thrown the old book on number 2 hitters out the window. I don't think anybody subscribes to that much anymore. Bat control and someone to move over the leadoff hitter. Those days seem to be gone. Everybody focusing on the top of the order, 1, 2, and 3 with guys that can hit, produce runs. Foul tip off the screen on the left side. Cole Evans will be next. He's on deck. He's been aboard twice today. Reached on the error and then followed with the RBI double, driving home Remicky for the game's lone run. Off to second is Redemar. He's got it stolen easily. So skipper Greg Leather sending Redemar down to steal the extra base, now in scoring position with just a one-run lead. They're looking to add to it, of course. Remicky now with a chance to drive in a run. Misses with that one. The ball gets away from Pringle, but he recovers, keeps the runner Redemar at second base. First base coach Greg Hicks for the Gremlins over in the first base box, having a word or two to the base runner out at second. Ball just off the plate. Remicky patiently draws the walk. So he's aboard for the third time today. He's got a pair of walks and that double. Hands off some of the protective gear to Greg Hicks at first. Almost need a duffel bag to carry some of that stuff away these days. So much extra armor for the hitters. Misses off the plate outside with that one. Looked like a rise ball, trying to throw it away from the right-hander Cole Evans. I'm old enough to remember when they didn't wear helmets, Luciano. High hopper, the shortstop, will go to third for the out. They get the lead runner. Good defensive play by Kipfer. So 6-5 on the putout. Evans on the fielder's choice is now at first, and Remicky at second. So still first and second now with one out. It'll be up to Eric Ochoa to try and get home an insurance run. Blake Hunter will follow after that. Ochoa 0 for 2 in this one. Popped up to short and struck out swinging last time. Both of those at-bats coming against the left-hander Veenhoff. Change up and a beauty. Out in front of it is Ochoa. Found himself committed halfway through. Not much he could do but finish the swing. Good pitch by Santella. Did not show it on the delivery. Grounder to first, off the glove of first baseman Long. Grab by LaForest, so it stays in the infield. But Ochoa with an infield single. And the Gremlins have the bases loaded. Let's watch the replay on that one. Not especially hard hit ball. Had to come way off the bag to try and make the play. LaForest alertly backing him up, so it keeps the run from scoring. And Blake Hunter, the batter. Bounces that one. Coming to the plate is Remicky. He'll score standing. On the wild pitch from Santella. Moving over to third is Evans. Moving over to second is Ochoa. So the Gremlins get a freebie. Looked like Santella was just trying to keep the ball down in the zone, something very important with a hitter like Hunter at the plate with good power. One swing of the bat, and it's a crooked number, but bounced and skipped that one. That went to the screen, and Remicky came home to score. Swing and a miss on a good drop ball. Good rotation and location on that pitch, inside and down on the right-hander Hunter. Little spinning changeup on the outside, away from the plate, outside for a ball. Hunter 0 for 2 in this game, a tapper to the pitcher and a strikeout, both of those against Dustin Wienhoff. So he, along with the rest of his teammates, getting their first look in the inning against Kirk Santella. Swing and a miss, good location again. So a very different approach from these two pitchers, neither of them overpowering the hitters, but pitching very effectively nonetheless. Laced into the gap in right center field. That one's going to go all the way to the fence. Hunter around first into second with a double. Coming home to score easily is Evans and Ochoa. So 2-run double off the bat of Blake Hunter. So Evans scoring, followed by Ochoa, and it's now a 4-0 game, 4-0 lead for the Gremlins. And Brian Avery at plate. By the shortstop, Kipfer into left field, coming around third to score. Standing up is Blake Hunter. So another run. So after 4 innings with just 1 run in, the New York Gremlins have broken it open here in the 5th. Santella was pitching very well to Hunter, pitched him downstairs, got a couple of strikes swinging on the low drop, just got one up in the zone a little bit too much. And now Brian Avery following with a single to left field to drive in Blake Hunter. Little spinner just off the plate, little change to that one too. Mullins is the batter. He's 0 for 1, grounded to short and walked. Little nubber out in front of the plate. Santella will pick it up, underhanded over to first base for the out to Adam Long. Moving over to second base on the play is Brian Avery. So with 2 out in the inning, the batter will be Tane Mumu. Tane lined out to second his first time up and then reached on the fielder's choice back in the 3rd. The inning started with a pair of walks. As they say, if you walk them, they will score. More often than not, there's a wild pitch in the dirt, and Avery will jog over to third base. 40-foot drop bouncing in front of the plate. So Kirk Santella, on in relief of Dustin Wienhoff, has had some very good pitches against the Gremlins, but a couple of mistakes, and unfortunately for him, with men aboard, and the Gremlins have cashed him in. Change up upstairs for a ball. High hopper, it's going to be over the first baseman's head. Going over to try and make the play is LaForest, but throws it away, and Mumu heads down to second base. Meanwhile, Brian Avery comes in for another run, the 5th of the inning for the Gremlins. So 5 here in the 5th, and it's a 6-0 lead for New York. So Mumu reaching on the throwing error. He's at second base. And Gonzalo Masmu back at the plate. Gonzalo 0 for 1 today, popped up to second, and a walk. Hard grounder foul over on the left side. Just about takes out Ian Sagdal over there in the on-deck circle. That's supposed to be the safe side to be in the on-deck circle with a right-hander, but Masmu somehow put it in play in the other direction. Drop ball stays downstairs for a ball. Swing and a miss on a good drop ball against Masmu. The inning started with a pair of walks. It was the top of the order for the Gremlins. They had a pair of walks, and then the Batmen got the force out at third base. So at one point it was first and second, one out, and no runs in, with the damage done thereafter. Base hit by Ochoa, the double by Hunter, the single by Avery, and the error, and it all adds up to 5 runs and a 6-0 lead now for the Gremlins in the 5th. High pop-up over on the left side. Everybody giving chase, but they'll run out of real estate as the ball lands behind the fence. The margin is 6, but that base runner at second base, no small item. The Batmen are the home team, so they will hit in the 5th, but if the Gremlins can push one more run across here, they potentially would have a run rule if they could hold the Batmen scoreless in the 5th. That one skips to the screen, another wild pitch from Centella, and Tane Mumu just 60 feet away from being run number 7. It was the wild pitch that had Remeke scoring from third base that really set everything in motion, and the runs just kept coming thereafter. Swing and a miss on a good drop ball away from Masmu, and Centella strands potential run number 7 over at third. But the Gremlins do some damage. 5 runs in the inning, now a 6-0 lead as we head to the home half of the 5th inning. Don't go away. We'll be back with more great action from the USA Softball Winter Classic here in Fort Myers, Florida. Home half of the 5th inning for the Batmen. It'll be Johnny Baker followed by Adam Long and Dallas Kipfer. That is 6, 7, 8 in their batting order. High pop-up in the infield, carrying back to center field. Redemar making the catch out there. The wind's kicking up just a little bit here in Fort Myers, not as strong as they were yesterday. If you get a look at the left field side on the screen, you'll see a couple of flags just beyond the left field fence. They are blowing from left to center. So the out-recorded Adam Long will be the batter. His second look at Kuba Osichka. Adam grounded to third in his first trip to the plate. The ball hit down to Gonzalo Masmu. Ball just missing inside. Swing and a miss. There's the changeup way out in front of that one is Adam Long. Some missing regulars from the Gremlins this weekend. We mentioned Benny Noka back home in New Zealand. Argentines Pablo Migliavaca, Ladislao Malarzuk. But some young players filling in their stead. That one right down the heart of Main Street for a called strike. No argument from Long. He's down for the second out. Strikeout number 7 on the day for Kuba. The strength of championship teams like the New York Gremlins is depth, and they have it right on down to the final men on their roster. Missing a player, they can reload, and I won't say it's not, the regulars aren't noticed, their absence not noticed, but certainly players who are ready to perform at that level. Change up a beauty. It's going to be a pop-up right over the top of the press box. We're sitting right behind home plate. We've got the best seat in the house. Happy to share it with you. Luciano Lofrano of Softball Premier TV sitting alongside, doing all the controls and the tech work on the stream, all of the multiple cameras. Swing and a miss on that one. Strikeout number 8. 1-2-3 inning for Kuba Osichka. In the 5th inning, we'll head to the 6th. It's still 6-0 Gremlins. We'll be right back. Top half of the 6th inning for the Gremlins. It'll start off with Ian Sagdal. Then back to the top of the order, Lucio Retamar and Jerome Remicke. Cole Evans would follow if we get that far. Sagdal 0 for 2 on the day, ground out to short, and a strikeout in his last trip to the plate. Those came against the lefty Veenhoff, so his first look at Kurt Santella. Veenhoff just 1 run surrendered in 4 innings, a feat that he accomplished in last year's ISC World Tournament against these same Gremlins, or largely the same Gremlins. So you have to say Veenhoff has been one of the most effective pitchers against this Gremlin team, who notched a remarkable 36-2 record last year. Swing and a miss on the changeup out in front is Sagdal. Those 2 losses, for those that don't recall, both to the Bear Creek Express from Canada. Bear Creek beat him in the very first game of the year up in the Chiefs Challenge in Simcoe, Ontario. Meanwhile, Sagdol is down on strikes looking for the first out of the 6th inning. Second loss came in the World Tournament to the same Bear Creek Express, so they were the only team last year to defeat the Gremlins. But the Gremlins battled back on the final day of that ISC World Tournament, winning 3 times and coming away with the second major title of the year. Grounder foul up along the right side. Redemar, the batter, he walked in his last time to the plate. That came against the reliever, Santella. Struck out swinging a couple of times against the lefty Wienhoff, so he's 0 for 2. And then reached on the walk. High hopper over the pitcher to second. Not going to be in time to get the speedy Redemar. LaForest had to go to his right. We'll watch the replay here. And Redemar getting down the line very well. Just ahead of the throw, so he's aboard with 1 out. On the infield single, it'll be Jerome Remeke. Remeke, a pair of walks, a double, and a run scored. It was Remeke that scored the first run of that 5th inning. That put the Gremlins up by a pair. Coming home to score on the wild pitch. Then the next 4 Gremlins all coming around to score thereafter. So it was Remeke that opened the gates. And the wild pitch, of course. Foul over on the left side. That'll be out of play. The wind's kicking up here a little bit in Fort Myers. You may be able to hear some of that noise on the microphone. We are seated outside behind home plate. Looks like they're blowing to straightaway center. The flag's blowing in that direction. Remeke late on that pitch. Ball down in the dirt, blocked nicely by Pringle. Keeps it in front of him. Keeps Redemar at first base. Downstairs for a ball, and for the 3rd time in the game, Remeke takes the walk. So patience exemplified by Jerome Remeke. 3rd walk. He scored 2 of the runs. Here's Cole Evans. Evans 1 for 3, had a double in the 3rd. That one driving home Remeke. That was the first run that stood up through the first 4 innings. Fly ball out to right field. Travis Jones taking about 3 steps to his right, makes the catch. Tagging on the play alertly is Redemar, and he scampers over to 3rd. So Remeke stays put at first. Redemar now at 3rd on the fly ball off the bat of Cole Evans. And with 1 out, it'll be Eric Ochoa. Ochoa 1 for 3 on the day. Had the infield single his last time up against Santella. Drove in a run, came around to score a run. Ball off the plate outside. Swing and a miss on the changeup. Out in front is Ochoa. Pitchers won't last very long with a steady diet of the hard stuff against the Gremlins, and both Veenhoff and Centella throwing some good changeups to offset that. Both very effective with the use of the changeup. We talked about the run rule. We are in the 6th inning. It's a 6-0 game, so it would be a 7th run. It could prove fatal to the Batmen. Foul tip back to the screen. Got just a piece of that one. Looked like he might have been a little bit out in front of that one. Took a real hard swing, but got a piece of it to stay alive. Redemar at third with good speed. Ground ball to second. They'll go across the bag, and the force out is made. Side retired. So the Gremlins don't get that elusive 7th run. We'll head to the home half of the 6th inning. Still 6-0 Gremlins in this one over the Toronto Batmen. Bottom half of the 6th inning for the Toronto Batmen. They'll get a different look from the Gremlins. It's Jack Besgrove coming on to pitch in relief of Kuba Osichka. So you can close the book on Osichka. 5 innings of work. If my tally is correct, just 3 hits surrendered and 8 strikeouts in the process. So from right-hander to left-hander, good hard rise ball from Jack. We're in the 9 spot in the order. That's Jordan Baumberger. Only his second time to the plate. Ground out right back to Ochoa, his first time up. Besgrove yesterday with a win in his first outing of the 2024 campaign. A 1-hit, 10 strikeout performance over just 4 innings. Swing and a miss on the rise ball by Baumberger. Jack pitched 4 innings. Justin Schofield came on to finish up in that one. It turned out to be a run rule win, 7-0 over the AWP Lumberjacks. That one right down the heart of Main Street. No argument from Baumberger. He knew it. First strikeout for Besgrove. As young as Jack is, at age 20, he has been pitching a long, long time. Started pitching in Australia from just about the time he was big enough to pick up a ball. Went through all of the leagues down there, starting with T-ball on up, but started playing with the older teenagers even at the ripe age of 12, and now mainstay in the open circuit. Rise ball upstairs. Pretty much a year-round campaign for Bestgrove. He plays in the league in Australia. That one runs from, October to February, March or thereabouts. Also in Japan, something his fellow countrymate Andrew Kirkpatrick did for a number of years. So where some pitchers will be January rusty, the youngster for the Gremlins is not. Travis Jones is the batter. Grounder to short, gets away from Evans, uncharacteristic error. And Jones is aboard for the second time. He, the owner of one of the 3 hits against Osika. You see, watch the replay, just went to pick it up and didn't quite get the handle around it. So 1 on, 1 out in the batter, Corey Way. Way a ground out and a strikeout. Swing and a miss on a Bestgrove rise ball. First 2 at-bats, of course, came against Osika, the youngster from the Czech Republic. Rise ball, good movement on that one, up and out of the zone, though. Most valuable player in last year's ISC World Tournament, Jack Bestgrove. In for a called strike on the rise ball. So best team in the world, best pitcher in the world. Who is responsible? The answer to the question is yes. Jack playing a big part in that 2023 success for the Gremlins. Swing and a miss on a good rise ball. That one up and out. As is Corey Way for the second strikeout of the inning. 2 outs. Travis Jones still down at first base, and the DP will come up. Cody Skelton. Strike on the outside edge. Skelton didn't think so, but has a quick word with our home plate umpire. This Toronto Batman team was formed by Cody Skelton, who the batter at the plate, about 12 years ago or so, sponsored by his mother Cheryl. She and her husband Mike, recipients of the Denny Bruckert Memorial Humanitarian Award, given out by the ISC in 2023. So long history. Fine fastball and support for fine fastball in that part of Canada from the Skelton family. Swing and a miss late on the rise ball. So with the error mixed in, it was strikeout, strikeout, strikeout for young Jack Bestgrove. Side retired. To the 7th we go. 6-0 Gremlins. We'll be right back with more. Top half of the 7th inning for the Gremlins. It'll be 5, 6, and 7. That's Hunter, Abry, and Mullins. Blake Hunter at the plate now, 1 for 3 on the day. Had the 2-run double that broke that 5th inning open. A 5-run 5th. That's been the big difference in the game. It was 1-0 through 4. Justin Veenhoff pitching very well for the Toronto Batmen through 4. Hard drop ball, grounded foul on the left side. The Toronto Batmen missing a couple of their favorite players. Ty Sebastian, of course, ISC All-Star, MVP of the Canadian tournament at the end of last year. Mason McKay. Line shot into right field for a clean single from Hunter. So he's got 2 in the game, 2 hits. It was Mason McKay who had the home run, the walk-off home run, to win the Canadian tournament in dramatic fashion last year. That one against the Galway Hitmen of Newfoundland, who have been at the top of the podium for so many years in the Canadians. Ball upstairs taken. Ty Sebastian, we mentioned, not here. He was the Softball Canada and ISC Canada East Player of the Year last year, so a key component. Not on hand here in Fort Myers. Not unusual for teams to be missing players in tournaments that come along this early. As we mentioned, a number of the Gremlins also in that club. With so many foreign-based players, some of them don't make it over here until late spring or early summer when the season really gets into gear. The heart of the season, of course, coming in June and July, and then down the stretch to the big major tournaments in August. Abry hits one down to short. They go to second, get the force, and across for the double play. Nice defense by Toronto. Here you see it on the replay. Grounder to short, over to second, on to first, and just like that, 2 outs. Nick Mullins, the batter for the Gremlins, 0 for 2, a couple of ground outs with a walk in between. Drop ball stays downstairs. Right down the heart of Main Street for a called strike. Mullins hitting in the 7th spot today, more often than not in the 8th spot, but still good power at that end of the batting order. Mullins with a home run yesterday, showing some of that. Actually had a double and a home run. Little spinning rise ball hit off the screen to the right side by Mullen. Foul ball. Want to remind you to keep an eye out for some photos taken by our photographer here in Fort Myers, Maddie Flanagan. Luciano, our streamer, Luciano Lofrano in Softball Premier, has been debuting the umpire camera that some of the umpires have been wearing that gives you a up close and personal look. That one just took a bounce next to me on the ground. Hopefully that's okay. Maddie Flanagan liked the idea of being on the field up closer to the hitters so much, she asked if she might be able to move on the other side of the fence. Sometimes it seems like she's there. Down on strikes goes Mullen for the third out. Side retired for the Gremlins. They score no runs. A hit, no one left. To the home half of the seventh we go. 6-0. Gremlins on top of the Toronto Batmen. Last call for the Toronto Batmen here in the home half of the seventh inning. They are on the short end of a 6-0 deficit. Jack Besgrove in the circle, came on in relief to throw the sixth and went strikeout, strikeout, strikeout. Kuba Osichka from the Czech Republic is the pitcher of record thus far for the Gremlins. He threw the first 5 innings, gave up just 3 hits, struck out 8. And no runs. So we were talking before the break about the umpire's camera. It's been worn by a number of the umpires. And what essentially it does, it takes the backstop or home plate camera and moves it right up behind the hitter. It gives you a very good look, almost the same look as the umpire. Down on strikes goes the first batter, Liam LaForest, 1 out. And if you thought the idea of a photographer being on the field is a silly one, try Googling photographers on the field Joe DiMaggio, and you'll see that, yes, indeed, there was a point in time where they let the photographers not only on the field, but literally surrounding home plate, closer than the on-deck batter. Mitch Pringle 0 for 2 on the day, both of those at-bats against Ositka. A strikeout and a ground out, his first time facing Jack Besgrove. High, hard one upstairs for a ball. The Batmen had a runner aboard against Besgrove in the 6th. That was Jones that reached on an error. But other than that, it's been all strikeouts, 4 now. And make that 5. Pringle down on strikes, so Batmen are down to their final out in the form of Johnny Baker. Baker, the owner of one of the 3 hits off Osichka, also hit a fly ball out to center field. Swing and a miss right on by him with the rise ball. Very smooth, comfortable delivery from Jack Besgrove. Swing and a miss. Up the green elevator we go. That one's second floor. And Jack Besgrove trying to close it out against the Toronto Batmen here. Swing and a miss. He does just that. Strikes out the side in the 6th and the 7th. So final score on this one, New York Gremlins 6-0 winners over the Toronto Batmen. Pair that with their wins yesterday. 7-0 win over AWP, 12-0 over Loyalty. They have yet to surrender a run. They will be the top seed from their pool. And wait to see how the playoff schedule shakes out. Playoffs beginning today at 3 p.m. and continuing to tomorrow. We will be with you tomorrow. Not sure about today. It depends on the schedule. So keep an eye out online. You can always go to Softball Premier TV, Luciano Lofrano, keeping things moving on that YouTube page. For the Gremlins Network, I'm Jim Flanagan. Happy to have been with you thus far in the tournament. Hope you'll be able to stick around and see us through the conclusion. Some more great matchups as these two pools collide into the playoff round. We'll see you back next game.
Visita la nueva innovación de softball, el sitio web donde podrás vivir los mejores torneos de América, juegos en vivo, noticias, torneos y más. Softball en vivo, donde quieras con la mejor calidad. Regístrate y sé un miembro Premier. www.softballpremiertv.com. ¡Vívelo!